So it was reported this morning that Amazon will soon display a little number next to the price of each product that shows how much the Trump tariffs are adding to the cost of each product. So isn't that a perfect, crystal clear demonstration that it's the American consumer and not China?
Since I just got off the phone with the president about Amazon's announcement, this is a hostile and political act by Amazon. Why didn't Amazon do this when the Biden administration hiked inflation to the highest level in 40 years? And I would also add that it's not a surprise because, as Reuters recently wrote, Amazon has partnered with a Chinese propaganda arm.
We are doing peace deals, trade deals, tax deals, and deregulating. And the deregulation is a longer lead time, but I think by the third and fourth quarters, that's really going to kick in.
All right, folks, welcome back to PrepperNow. We just got word of a pretty major faux pas from one of the retailers you probably visit pretty regularly. I know we do. So it came out through Punchbowl News and other sites that there was this new idea by people in the Amazon sphere of stuff considering doing a little ticker or tracker for what the tariffs and everything are going to cause the average American when they purchase something, one of your little cheap trinkets on Amazon. A little tracker. Okay, you pay this. Now we're going to beef up the price to this one because of the tariff, which they were saying would be about 120 to 150% per item. So, of course, this is something now that is being walked back by one Jeff Bezos. He, of course, now is being touted as the second most hated billionaire in the world, but playing reference to Elon Musk. But he has walked all this back, saying that this is something that they're going to do possibly on Amazon Haul. If you know what Amazon Haul is, it's basically a low-cost, cheap, offshoot of Amazon where you can get a bunch of stuff super cheap, especially if it's coming from places that have labor that works for a couple bucks an hour and makes things that people don't necessarily need but want to get their hands on. So now all of this is kind of coming out, and initially the Amazon stock price made a pretty big intraday drop, about 2%. Nothing huge or terrible, but pretty big. And of course now he had to come out and walk this back. But the problem is that now he set up Amazon for people possibly doing a boycott or possibly exacting their vengeance on Amazon and the site and the low-cost retailer for all it does. It's pretty well known now that the Trump administration is really going after China and their cheap products, their cheap production, their cheap manufacturing, and trying to make it so American manufacturing comes back, but also our reliance on all that is China in our everyday purchases starts to get curtailed. Items like iPhones are now being touted as switching production over to India and other things, areas like that. So they're trying to switch stuff around, and major shifts in production and manufacturing are just starting to happen. This happened in the first Trump administration. People started to move their manufacturing from China to places like Vietnam, Malaysia. Well, now it's really being kicked into high gear. As we go past the first 100 days of Trump, he's really focused on this tariff thing and trying to hinder the growth of China. We've basically, in the last 40 years, allowed them to become the manufacturer of the world, and they've grown quite rich upon that. And the regime of the CCP in China is now, on par with the global power structure with, America. And of course, you really don't want to live in their kind of a world with their kind of a rules and their kind of a surveillance state. So Trump administration is really trying to turn the money tap off, turn the manufacturing off, and at least shift things over. And this has been a big focus of his first 90 days. Well, of course, if you know what's going on with Amazon is really into taking their stuff manufactured over in China and distributing to the American public very quickly and very cheaply by not having brick and mortar stores. So when this tariff thing came down, it basically was going to potentially hurt the business. And now Trump administration has accused Bezos and Amazon of playing politics, saying this ticker thing is highly political, saying, where was this with the Biden administration, and, why are you targeting us when we're trying to change things that will take some pain up front, but eventually, as they're hoping, will bring some of the manufacture away from China and make it so America is not having the reliance upon China that we have, because we rely on them for everything. We rely on them for defense. We rely on them for our grid and everything else. We all saw what happened in Spain yesterday. So now they're really trying to make all this kind of stop. And with Bezos saying, hey, we're not going to do this, but it coming out in a report that Amazon was going to potentially put a tracker, tell America how pricey the tariffs are going to be on them and hurt Trump's political ideas. Well, a little bit of a dust-up has happened, so we'll see. I can see a lot of people on Team Trump going over and now boycotting Amazon. Do you think that'll happen? Put a 1 if you think it will in the comments. Put a 2 if you don't think it will matter in the comments. Or tell me your thoughts in the comments. All right, friends, thanks so much for being here. God bless. Visit us online, all the other links in the description, and we will see you on the next one.